Introduction: a beast born from desperation. Imagine this: a brutal winter grips the endless forests of North America. The snow is piled deep, the cold is unrelenting, and food is nowhere to be found. In such conditions, human survival often depends on desperate choices that can awaken dark forces. The Wendigo is a creature born from these moments of weakness, representing hunger that knows no end and a transformation that erases all traces of humanity. Legends of the Wendigo have haunted people for centuries, spreading fear across the frozen wilderness. But where does this terrifying creature come from? How does it continue to inspire horror in stories today? Let's explore the roots of this eerie monster, what it symbolizes, and why it has become a staple in modern horror culture. Origins in indigenous folklore, cannibalism, and the fall from humanity. The legend of the Wendigo finds its origins in the folklore of Algonquian-speaking tribes, such as the Cree, Ojibwe, and Mi'kmaq peoples. These tribes lived in the unforgiving forests and tundras of Canada and the northern United States, where winters were harsh and food shortages were a real threat. In these stories, the Wendigo is a spirit or monster that emerges when a person resorts to eating human flesh to survive. The act of cannibalism transforms them, robbing them of their humanity and leaving behind only a cursed being, doomed to wander the wilderness forever. The Wendigo's hunger is endless. It can never feel satisfied, no matter how much flesh it consumes. Some versions of the myth suggest that the Wendigo is not always the result of cannibalism. Instead, it can also represent someone who gives into extreme greed or selfishness, prioritizing their survival over others. This interpretation highlights the Wendigo not just as a literal threat, but also as a warning against moral decay and the loss of community values. The many faces of the Wendigo, variations across tribes. While all Wendigo legends share common elements, the creature's appearance and behavior vary slightly among tribes. Cree and Ojibwe myths often depict the Wendigo as a skeletal, emaciated figure with glowing eyes and sharp claws. Its lips may be chewed away, a gruesome reminder of its constant hunger. Innu traditions describe it as a giant figure that grows larger with each meal it consumes, symbolizing how greed and desire can become overwhelming. In some stories, the Wendigo is invisible, a spirit that possesses people and drives them mad with hunger, turning them into cannibals. This variation emphasizes the psychological nature of the Wendigo's curse. It's not just a monster in the woods, but a force that can take hold of anyone. These variations show how deeply embedded the Wendigo is in the cultural consciousness of northern tribes, adapting to different landscapes and moral teachings. Appearance: a nightmare made flesh. The Wendigo's appearance is one of the most unsettling aspects of the legend. Its body is tall and thin, with bones pressing through its skin, as if it were perpetually starving. Some depictions give it animalistic features, such as the antlers of a stag or the snout of a wolf, reinforcing its connection to the wilderness. This hybrid appearance symbolizes a being caught between two worlds, human and animal, civilized and wild, living and dead. In many stories, the Wendigo's most horrifying trait is its decaying flesh. It reeks of death, and its body appears to be rotting, mirroring the corruption of the soul that comes with its curse. The Wendigo's presence brings an unnatural cold, and it is said that the air around it becomes heavy with the scent of decay and despair. Some legends suggest that the Wendigo's voice can mimic human speech, luring victims deeper into the forest by imitating the cries of lost travelers or loved ones. This makes the monster not just a physical threat, but a psychological one, exploiting human empathy and trust. Symbolism: hunger, greed, and the human condition. The Wendigo is more than just a monster that preys on the weak. It is a powerful symbol of insatiable hunger, greed, and the dangers of selfishness. Its curse teaches that those who abandon their humanity, whether through cannibalism, greed, or betrayal, become something less than human. The endless hunger of the Wendigo reflects a spiritual emptiness that can never be filled. This theme resonates far beyond the forests of North America. In many ways, the Wendigo embodies universal fears. Greed: the more it consumes, the hungrier it becomes, just as unchecked greed only leads to greater dissatisfaction. Isolation and madness. The Wendigo thrives in desolate places, symbolizing the dangers of isolation and the madness that can arise from loneliness and despair. Punishment. The transformation into a Wendigo serves as a punishment for losing one's humanity. It reminds us that the choices we make in times of crisis can define who we are. These symbolic elements give the Wendigo a timeless relevance, making it a powerful metaphor for both personal and societal issues. The Wendigo in psychology. The concept of Wendigo psychosis. Interestingly, the Wendigo legend has also found a place in the field of psychology. Wendigo psychosis is a term used to describe a condition where individuals develop an irrational craving for human flesh, even when other food is available. Cases of Wendigo psychosis, though rare, have been reported among communities in the far north, where isolation and starvation can cause extreme mental stress. Some anthropologists suggest that the concept of the Wendigo may have served as a way for indigenous communities to explain and manage these breakdowns in social behavior. In modern psychology, Wendigo psychosis is often used as a metaphor for destructive behaviors caused by greed and obsession. It reflects how desires, if left unchecked, can consume a person entirely, turning them into something monstrous. The Wendigo in pop culture, from myth to media icon. Over the years, the Wendigo has become a popular figure in modern horror media. Its terrifying appearance and deep symbolic meaning make it an excellent villain. Below are some notable examples of how the Wendigo has been used in popular culture. Films. Ravenous, 1999, explores themes of cannibalism and madness, using the Wendigo as a metaphor for the endless hunger for power. TV shows. In Supernatural, the Wendigo is portrayed as a dangerous predator hiding in the woods, preying on lost hikers. Meanwhile, in Hannibal, the monster is used as a symbol of the main character's dark nature. Video games. Until Dawn, 2015, features terrifying Wendigos, with players forced to confront the consequences of desperate survival choices. Books. Stephen King's Pet Sematary uses the Wendigo as a subtle influence over the cursed burial ground, hinting at the dangers of disturbing the natural order. These modern interpretations have kept the Wendigo relevant, reinforcing its role as a symbol of fear and human corruption. Conclusion. The timeless terror of the Wendigo. The Wendigo's power lies in its ability to embody multiple fears at once: hunger, madness, greed, and isolation. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, giving in to our worst impulses can have irreversible consequences. In today's world, the Wendigo continues to haunt our imagination because it taps into fears that are both ancient and modern. Whether as a monster lurking in the wilderness or a metaphor for human corruption, the Wendigo remains a potent symbol of what happens when we lose control of our desires. So, next time you hear the wind howling through the forest, beware. It might not just be the wind, it could be the Wendigo, still hungry and searching for its next victim.